Welcome back to Tech Stack for all you tech enthusiasts. Welcome to Laravel 13 Tutorial Part 3. In this video, we will learn about routing in Laravel, one of the most important concepts for every Laravel developer. Routing decides what should happen when a user visits a URL in your application. Now we'll open the official Laravel website and see how routing works when we move from one page to another. As you can see, the URL changes whenever we move from one page to another. There are different routing methods in Laravel. Let's discuss them one by one. Route GET is used to handle GET requests. It is mainly used to display pages or retrieve data when a user visits a URL in the browser. Route POST is used to send data to the server, usually when submitting forms like login, registration, or storing data in the database. Route PUT is used to update existing data in the database. It is commonly used when you want to replace an entire record, like updating a user profile. Route patch is used to update only specific fields of an existing record, instead of replacing the whole data, like PUT. Route delete is used to remove or delete data from the database when a user requests to delete a record. Route options is used to handle HTTP options requests. It tells the browser or client which HTTP methods are allowed for a specific route. Route view is used to directly return a blade view without needing a controller. It is useful for simple static pages like about or contact pages. Now let's move to resources views and create a new blade file for the login page. Blade files use the blade PHP extension and let us combine PHP logic with HTML in a clean way. We'll cover this in detail in an upcoming video. Now inside the file, we'll simply add an h1 tag and display login page to test our view. Now in routes web.php, we will add a route for the login page. Now we'll simply copy the previous route and modify it for the login page. Now change the view name to login. Now we'll update the route URL and set it to login. Next, open the terminal and start the Laravel server by running php artisan serve. Now let's copy the URL and open it in the browser to test our route. Now we'll append login to the URL and check in the browser. Perfect! We've successfully created the view, defined its route, and everything is working fine in the browser. Now let's update the route to home and check it again in the browser. As you can see, refreshing the old URL gives a 404 error because we changed the route and it is no longer defined in our web.php file. Now we'll create a new blade view file for the dashboard page. Inside the dashboard view, we'll simply add an h1 tag and display dashboard page. Now in web.php, define its route. Here, we will define a route that returns the dashboard view when a user visits the dashboard URL. Now let's open the browser and test the dashboard route. Perfect! Everything is working as expected. Now let's comment the dashboard route using the get method, and we'll create it in a simpler way using the view method. View method is used when we want to directly return a blade view without writing a controller or extra logic. It is mainly used for simple static pages to make routing faster and cleaner. Now let's open the browser and test it. Perfect. Everything is working fine. Now we'll comment out the route view and bring back the route get method for the dashboard so we can test it properly. Route get is commonly used when we are working with controllers and need to handle logic before returning a response. Now let's learn how to pass data through routes in Laravel. We will create a new view called Student. Inside the student view, we'll simply add an h1 tag with student. Now add its routing in web.php using the get method. Here we will create a route that returns the student view when we visit the student URL. Now let's open the browser and test the student route. Perfect. It's working fine. We changed the URL to add a parameter, but it is showing a 404 error because we have not enabled a parameter in the student route. We are adding name to the route like student name. This name is called a route parameter. This means we will pass dynamic data in the URL, so Laravel can accept values directly from the route. Now pass the $name variable in the function. This allows Laravel to capture the value from the URL and use it inside the function. Now, let's echo the name variable. This will show the value passed in the URL directly in the browser. Now let's open the browser and test it. As you can see, it is working perfectly. Now, instead of echoing it directly, we will pass the data to the view using an array. Here we are sending the name variable from the route to the blade view using key value pairs. Now let's open the student view and show the name variable using double curly braces. In Laravel, double curly braces is called blade echo syntax. It is used to display data inside blade views safely. Now let's open the browser and test it. As you can see, it's working perfectly. Now let's change the name of the URL and see if it updates dynamically. Perfect. Everything is working fine. Now we'll update the key from name to std name and check if it still works. This will help us understand how key value pairs work when passing data from routes to views. Now let's open the browser and test it. As you can see, we are getting an undefined variable error because we changed the key in the route. Now let's update the view and use std name instead of name. Now let's open the browser and test it. Perfect. Now it's working correctly. Now let's implement redirection. When someone visits the login route, we will automatically redirect them to the dashboard. For this, we use Laravel's redirect method to send the user from one route to another. In the redirect method, the first parameter is where the user is coming from, and the second is where we want to send them. It simply means we define the current route and then the target route for redirection. Now let's open the browser and test the redirect. As you can see, when we visit the login page, it automatically redirects us to the dashboard. If you're passionate about learning new technologies, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Tech Stack, and keep learning new skills. Thank you. And remember, consistency is the key to success.